Hi Capricorn, I hope you guys are doing great today. So this is going to be for your first week of August 1st to the 7th. And I was checking out the astrology before I was going to do the general read. There's too much going on here to not mention it. So I am going to talk astrology first, sort of general, then very specific to you guys only, Capricorn only. And then I'm going to get into pulling the cards. So if you don't want the astrology, it's okay. Just fast forward until you see me pulling the cards, okay? But for the rest of us, let's talk about this full moon that's happening on August 3rd. It's going to be happening in Aquarius at 11 degrees, and it's going to be opposing Leo, the sun in Leo at 11 degrees. Guys, that's super rare. That's very rare. So those of you who know your charts, look to see where you have 11 degrees of Aquarius and 11 degrees of Leo, what houses those are in, and that's going to be a little more personally profound for you, for sure. But this full moon occurs when the sun in Leo forms this opposition to the moon in Aquarius, and this is a time of culmination and the promise of fulfillment of whatever it was that you planted around the new moon, whatever it was that you were wishing or hoping for around the new moon. And it's definitely an emotional time of romance, right? Because think about that fifth house, fertilization, relationships, things with your children, and all those things are all like fifth house energies. So the Leo sun is very, very proud and intensely individual, right? It's really not content with simply just being one of the team. Now, Aquarius likes their individuality as well, except they really understand the importance and value of team, community, group spirit. So this conflict between the me and the we is going to be a play for all of us, right? And this idea between where we want to go in our future and what might we need to release in that fifth house of things we enjoy doing, of maybe something to do with our children, of our perspective in these areas, about relationships, about things we do for fun, our perspective on having our own business, right? These are all fifth house things. So there's going to be this tension there, okay? Now, it's worth noting here, though, that this is going to be squaring Uranus, right? Which is in Taurus here. And so this suggests that we need to watch out for any kind of like prematurity, abrupt changes, rebellion. I want to keep this on the micro interpersonal and not on the sad state of affairs out in our world. But I mean, because we're even feeling this on an interpersonal level, right? But we're going to have a lot of these ideas and we're going to think they're fabulous and let's go do this. And this is definitely what I'm going to do. But the thing is, we don't have all the information right now. We have 5 planets retrograde. We just don't have all the information. So this is a great energy to plan. This is a great energy to think about what you want to do. Just understand you're not going to be able to figure out the details, and don't even bother, because honestly, we also have Mercury going into Leo. That's another one where it's like, don't even bother trying to figure out the details right now, because they're probably going to change in an hour anyway. We have to wait for some of these energies to just settle up to, before we could get too specific with anything. But that's what's going to be going on here. Now, this is really profound though, guys, because remember, Uranus is a trailblazer. Uranus is all about boom, like what's the future going to look like? Uranus rules technology. There's so many advancements that are going to be happening in such a short period of time, having to do with technology in a very practical way, because it's in Taurus. Taurus is the landlord of the second house of resources and things that we value, guys, right? So while this is square, it's in conjunct to each other. So we have to understand that Aquarius is all about doing something different than we're doing right now, which is also ruled by Uranus. So this is a very powerful kind of like, all right, what are you going to do? What are you feeling you want to do? You're going to have this overwhelming urge to figure out what it is that you want to do in your future. And then we have the sun here with Leo. It's like, well, where are you the most creative? What do you need to do regarding your children? Do you want to have a child? Are your children moving out? Like, what do you want to get into that relationship? What's going on with that? Are you going to level it up? Are you going to start that business? Are you not going to start that business? This is kind of like that, like you can't think your way out of this one. That's the thing, because this requires action. This requires action. Like a regular opposition, you can hang out and just let life do her thing and be uncomfortable, and we could sort of keeping it light, bitch and moan a little bit about the changes or the weirdness that we're feeling. But here, when we're talking about these kind of energies, this requires action. So that's happening on the 3rd. Then on the 4th, we have Mercury going into Leo. Yeah, I like this because everyone's speaking is going to be a lot more confident, a lot more grandiose in a positive way. I feel like a lot of people are going to be really actively working on solidifying their plans for the future, really trying to lay the groundwork, which I really like. And the bigger the goal, the better. Again, you're not going to be able to figure out the minutia of it. That's okay. It's enough to start getting your ducks in a row and just really communicating. This is a great energy to get out there and make connections and communicate right now. The only little caveat that I say with this energy is, the volume on our ears tends to naturally turn way down. We have Mercury in Leo. It's like we hear it ourselves talk, but we're not hearing anybody else. So just understand that if you're dealing with this energy with anybody else, that this is what it is and it will pass. Then we also have Venus in the North Node finally going into Cancer. Thank goodness, because it's been in conjunct with Neptune, and it's just like, I can't see clearly kind of thing across the board. You know what I mean? I'm not sure about money. I don't know what's going to happen with the money in the future. I don't really know how I feel about that relationship. I don't really know how I feel about myself right now. I'm not sure what I want, right? I mean, that's Neptune, right? So we're going into Cancer, which is very sensitive. But it's a snuggly energy. It really is. So for those of us in a relationship, or even if you're not in a relationship, it's a great time to just chill out at home, snuggle up, snuggle down, just connect to your roots, your home, whatever that means to you. Now, the only thing is, if you're in a relationship and things are a little strained right now, this could generate some very emotional reactions within you right now. To be forewarned is to be forearmed, understand when it's happening. That's what it is, and this is all meant to get us to look at something a little more closely. So just something to keep in mind there, right? Okay, so I'm going to put these on the side, and I want to just discuss some things that are just going to be happening only for Capricorns. Now, we're all going to be dealing with the squaring energy. All of us are, but we're going to be feeling it a little differently. Now, Capricorn, you guys, you're going to have Mars in your 4th house of roots, home, family, safety, all of that. Everything having to do with your home, your physical home, your metaphorical home, your parents. Okay, this could have to do with your parents as well. Your ancestors, your investment properties that are like second homes to you. Anybody who lives in your home. Anyone who lives in your home as well. So you're going to have Mars in there in the 4th, right? And then in your 1st, you're going to have Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter. So Pluto is all about transformation. Saturn is about restriction and change and karma and things just being really challenging. So it's like we want to make this transformation, but it's like this slow, it's challenging because Jupiter expands whatever it's in, right? So the challenge is expanded, even though the desire to transform, the need to transform is expanded as well. So what does all of this mean? Well, it means that there's going to be tension between your 1st house of self and your 4th house of home. And the change has to happen through Mars, okay? It means that in that 1st house of self, that is your personality, that is how you meet the world, that is your physical self, what you actually look like, right? All of these things have to actually be looked at because something is outdated that needs to be updated. And Mars wants to help you out. All right, now there is this tension again. Something's going on in your home that's creating this tension, that's inciting this change. It's going to be different for all of you. So maybe somebody's moving out, somebody's moving in. Should you have a baby? Should you not have a baby? Is somebody getting divorced? Somebody getting separated? Is there an illness in the home? What's going on in the home space that needs looking at, that you need to give up a way of thinking to really sort of adopt a different way of thinking. Is somebody sick? How's your mother, right? Because the 4th house is Luna, it's mother. So it's this idea of, or maybe ancestor, somebody, where there's some sort of tension and challenge that's going on with a family member in there. And this square is really going to incite for you to make the change, and you have to. There is no choice, right? We need to act with the squared energy, okay? Now, we also have the Galactic Center activating the South Node in Sagittarius. Now, this only happens every 19 years, guys. So when I say things are going to be looking different, I am not joking. Seriously. Now, this isn't going to happen overnight like that. By November, these changes, but it's all starting now. And with the Galactic Center activating that South Node, which has to do with past karma and karmic ties, there's a release here. I want you to think about like a big bonfire and it just burning off in that bonfire. You guys are going to be feeling it very strongly in your 12th house, okay? So there's going to be a release to any way where you struggle with imbalance, okay? It could be addiction. It could be any way that you might self-sabotage yourself. Anywhere where in your life where there's a level of imbalance that needs balancing out. And because that is that 12th house, the Pisces 12th house. It's the house of self-undoing. We call it that because it's where our self-sabotaging behaviors hang out. You know, it's where our addictions hang out, but it's also where our dreams are born. It's also where our, our access to spirituality. It is also needing to deal with hospitals, institutions, drug rehabs, ashrams, any sort of institutions of faith as well. You know, anything like that, okay? But there's going to be this burning off in here. And I feel like really, mostly it's going to be, you looking at where you might self-sabotage, looking at where you are imbalanced, looking at your behaviors. Also, redefining your dreams and figuring out what will now work for you, because life is different. And this is the thing. In this energy, with this activation, something returns. Now, it could be in the 3D, or it may only be in the form of nostalgia, but it's meant to heal and or revisit something for transformation, healing, But the old is burning off in this energy. Whatever has been getting in your way is burning off. So I actually really love that for you, right? And then we have the new moon, which is great. It's on the 18th. It's Leo and Mercury. And I love this energy for you because this is happening, first of all, in your 8th house of transformation. And I really like this because this is where the sun and the moon meet up to create and communicate something that's been on your heart, in your soul, okay? Something that you've been wanting. And it's something you're planting a seed, and it's going to come into culmination in the spring. So very directly, I mean, particularly if those of you who are thinking about that 4th house energy, are you thinking about getting pregnant? Maybe you need to sacrifice the way you viewed having children in that 1st house to, be on board with having children in that 4th house energy. And you guys are getting pregnant now because it's a very fertile energy with Venus and Cancer. I will tell you that. So there's this transformation that's going on in the 8th house, which is exactly how we blend with other. It's not about me, it's about we. It's about your partner's resources. It's about the blending of the two of your resources, how you guys communicate together. It has to do with deep intimacy, not the act of sex, but the intimacy that you experience when you're intimate and you have sex. The act is one thing, right? The soul connection is another. And isn't it interesting that even ancient astrologers understood the difference between in that? But this is also having to do with inheritance. This has to do with insurance payouts, the settlement of cases, tax payouts. So there's something that's going to be coming in, okay? But this is all about transformation. This is where the new moon is happening for you. And then finally, we have Venus in your 7th house of relationships, of marital relationships, of partnerships. So if you're not married, that's okay. I mean, it would be your business partnerships or anyone where you have a very close soul shared soul purpose. That, you know what I mean? So it could even be a family member or a really good friend, but where your soul purpose in this life is very shared. Okay? We have Venus in there, which is lovely. I mean, it's just a beautiful softening of the energies. So, isn't that nice to have that in the relationships, especially because you guys have certainly been going through it a lot, right, in that area. So, even if it's just to have a little bit of a 3-week timeout, isn't that going to be welcome, right? Okay. So let's get into pulling the cards. Okay. Let's start with the Lenormand. We'll throw some Astro dice first. Gemini, third house, learning. North node, south node rather, which is Sagittarius, in the 7th house. Okay. All right. Good. Learning something new and releasing something, some sort of unhealthy something that was getting in your way, having to do with relationships, or allowing something to burn off, right? Because it's very karmic with the nodal energies. And that's exactly where the galactic center is going to be activating, is in that south node. So it's learning something new. You're going to be learning something new. You're going to be, releasing. And whatever it is that you're releasing and you're learning, I really like it, because ultimately it's going to end up helping your relationship. So I feel like you're burning off in that 12th house energy. You're learning some sort of new program, new way of thinking, new way of being, meditation. Maybe you're going on a retreat, you're taking a workshop, something like that. But whatever you get into, it's going to ultimately end up improving your relationships, because it ends up improving you, and it's going to improve the version of yourself, who you are when you show up in that, in that relationship. Okay, so we have lilies. Let me show that to you. I'm sorry. Lilies. This is the Lenormand. It's different than the Tarot. We have the cross. Okay, we have some pain going on. Okay, we have the clouds. Okay, we have lilies and flowers. Okay. So the lilies is, really it's calm, peace, serenity, right? Is really kind of what it preaches. But this energy really is about your parents and your elders showing up. It's like people before you, older than you, wisdom and experience here. Or this could even be a long-term relationship or have to do with your ancestors. But there's a long-term relationship of some kind here. But this does indicate, this indicates something long, some sort of long connection that you've been involved in. And then we have the cross energy, and the cross, though, is the bringer of grief and sadness and burdens. Really, it's like a pain and suffering and guilt in the area, having to do with something having to do with either a long relationship that you had, or having to do something with your elders or your parents or somebody older than you in your family. So because the cross in the Lenormand is a symbol of a state of suffering, right? Universal and very unavoidable. And it's a state of carrying the burdens of others who are not accountable for their actions, right? It's like, the cross we have to bear, like Christ did for our sins, right? As the Christians believe. So this card is the calling card of taking responsibility despite the cost. But I do have to say, on a more positive note, with this, redemption may come, but we do have to look at the energies around it. So we have here the clouds, but notice that whatever this challenge is, there's a tough go right now. And it has something to do with the elders or some long relationship. Carrying the burdens of somebody from the past. It's like somebody needing to pay for something now at this point, and it being a very challenging thing. But then we go, because the clouds lead into light with the birds, and this is redemption. And then we have the flowers. The flowers here are really an invitation of thankfulness, is really what this means in Lenormand, and being thankful. So I'm sorry to say, I've never on YouTube, I have to tell you, I never say this for general readings, but check on the health of your loved ones, guys, your elders, because this could indicate someone having some sort of struggle and something happening with them. I do have to say. I don't want to say more than that. For some of you, this can be the ending of a long-term relationship. But there's some sort of redemption that's being had. And there is this very spiritual vibe about the lilies. You understand, like, it's like your ancestors, people from the other side are here. Somebody with a history is supporting you here. Somebody with a history is supporting you. But I do feel like you're going to have a challenge having to do with either a long-term relationship or one of the elders in your family. Something is going to be happening, going on. Okay. Let's see. We can get, I feel like, you know, that's very general. That's not necessarily relationship. That's not necessarily anything else. Now, guys, this could also be a message coming from somebody who has passed or just from spirit, indicating that you may have been in a business arrangement or some sort of job where you were carrying the burden for somebody else, and it just became really stressful. If you had a very irresponsible business partner, or the company that you work for was very, very irresponsible, there was this really very challenging, heavy energy for you, for which you're going to be gaining redemption for. And therefore we have the clouds, and in which case the flowers, the number 9 flowers in Lenormand would indicate positive karma coming to you now. I mean, either way, there is this positive energy coming in, but it's this heavy, heavy conflict in the middle that's needing to be dealt with. And it has to do with bearing the burdens of the past, bearing something for somebody else. Okay, we have the 2 of Pentacles and the 10 of Pentacles as the current situation. We have the 9 of Swords. Okay, Knight of Pentacles, a lot of Pentacle energy here. The Unknown card as the outcome. Oh, somebody else got that. Who else got it? I don't remember. One other person. Okay, something you're not supposed to know yet. We have the Knight of Pentacles coming into this energy. So the Knight of Pentacles is Leo and Virgo. So Pentacles, if this is a relationship, this could have to do with mental, physical, emotional connection. So this can quite literally be you meeting somebody new, or that you did in the past. For others of you, this could have been a job offer coming in, or you dealing with something new at work. Okay, if it's dealing with the pentacle energy, then this is just a general energetic influence. This could indicate news coming in, right? Because the nights always, the nights tend to bring news. But this is a Leo and Virgo energy, and Leo's a fire sign, so feeling a lot of gumption and a lot of passion to move something forward in a very pragmatic way, to make money, to make that relationship work. It's a very practical and pragmatic sign. Whenever we have Virgo, it's very practical, right? And the current situation right now is the 2 of Pentacles. Okay, so 2 of Pentacles, Jupiter and Capricorn. This tells me that you feel very confused about either 2 jobs, 2 paths, 2 people, 2 connections, or you're trying to decide between 2 things. Now, again, this is Jupiter in Capricorn. Jupiter expands whatever it's in, and Capricorn's all about work. It's ruled by Saturn. So there's this expansion of work. So suddenly it's like, wow, I have a few opportunities. I don't know what to choose from. Or I have, you know, a couple of offers for a relationship. I'm really not sure what I should choose. And the 10 of Pentacles is what's crossing it. Now, the 10 of Pentacles can be a marriage card. It's a deepening of commitment. It is a deepening of connection, communication. It's a really great energy if it has to do with relationship. If it has to do with work, this is a great money energy. This is about having a lot of success and very healthy partnerships, there being good communication, everybody being in the flow. I really, really like it. So now when we get this as the current energy, this can quite easily be just the energy that you are really focused on attaining right now. So you have all of these options, but you're trying to figure out which is going to bring you the 10 of Pentacles. You're very focused on that. What's the best strategy for you? What is the best plan for you? What is the best relationship for you to get into, right? If you're in the dating mode and you're just not sure, right? You're just trying to kind of put your ducks in a row and figure it out. Then we have the Knight of Swords. So when we have whenever we have a sword energy, there's communication, there's truth coming in. Some of you may be meeting this new person. Now, this is the thing. If you're meeting somebody new, and the Knight of Swords is is a very suave energy. They really are. I mean, they're very fun, they're funny, they're very intelligent. But the thing is, the little caveat with them is they may say they're more ready for a relationship than they are. So just keep that in mind, okay? You know, a lot of times they have a very hard time walking their talk, kind of thing, you know. As a general energetic influence, this does indicate that there's something going on that you need to pay attention to. There's a reality surrounding you right now. You need to pay attention. You really do need to trust yourself and look for the truth in a situation. Okay, now this could be you, where, you know, you need to trust your intuition and you need to just be straight up and honest about whatever your dealings are right now, but double and triple question whatever energy is in front of you at the moment. Because right now we have the foundation, we have the Nine of Swords, and this is the 3 a.m. like internal conflict card, let's call it that, where there's anxiety, there's depression. I feel like you're going through something, Capricorn. I feel like you're trying to figure something out. I'm going back to Lenormand here. There's something that you're needing to unknot. You have positive elements in your life. Like, I feel like a lot of you, like, money's okay, but the relationships aren't, or some sort of family situation is going on, and it's creating a lot of anxiety for you, right? The Nine of Swords, Mars and Gemini. Mars and Gemini. You know, it's that fighter planet in Gemini. But the thing is, it's an internal energy. So it's like you're ruminating over in your head. Oh, that happened, and then that happened, and then why did that happen? And going over and over and over. And it's bearing these burdens, right? That's so the cross energy. Okay, and then we have the Death card. All right, this is you right now. Okay, so you're allowing a cycle to end. Well, a cycle is ending and a new one is beginning. This is a Scorpio energy. It's all about transformation. This is the 8th house, right? So this has to do with recognizing that something the way it was is over and accepting a new cycle in something. Now, this is very interesting to me. Something is going on with someone in your life, Capricorn, and there's a big question mark right now. Because we get the Wheel and we get the Unknown. We get the Hierophant. I have to tell you, this is an energy external to you. This is not a bad card. This is a great card. It's ruled by Jupiter, right? Jupiter's all about luck and expansion, but this is about destiny. So it's the kind of thing where, well, if it's driven by destiny, then of course it's driven by luck and expansion, because it's what's supposed to happen. But I feel like you don't know what that is. So I feel like there's going to be some sort of experience that's going to be very destiny driven, that you're not going to be able to see how it's supposed to turn out. But again, this is not you. This is external from you. So I feel like it's something happening. So this could be somebody who's perhaps ill, or somebody who is having a deep challenge right now. Is having, I feel like there's somebody in your life who's having a serious struggle. We have the Five of Pentacles in your fear, and this is feeling being in a space of lack and being very focused on the pain of it all, and not being able to see the illumination behind you, not being able to see or appreciate the support that is available to you. You're focused very much on the lack, how you're feeling disconnected, how you're feeling. You're feeling pain. You're feeling discounted. You're feeling like your voice isn't heard. It's like you almost might feel like a 4-year-old kid going into a grown-up tea party and saying, you know, pay attention to me, I have something important to say to you, and them just being, all right, kid, you know what, go in the kitchen and don't bother us yet, you know. And then the outcome is the Hierophant energy, which has to do with, this is a marriage card, so this could have to do with your husband or your wife, someone you're married to. Or this could have to do with your belief system being challenged in the biggest way right now because of something that's going on in your life where you're holding very close to it, but at the same time you're having a really hard time embracing it, and it's a challenging kind of energy. Something very destiny driven is going on here that we're not supposed to know about yet. Oh, Capricorn. Okay. I cannot leave you with that. That's not fair. It's not fair. Capricorn is tough. They could take it, Spirit. What messages do they need to know? What is this unknown? Okay, Judgment. Judgment card is this is another transformation energy. Okay. So this is about needing to make a decision having to do with something going on with your family. And this is the need to also forgive somebody for something. So perhaps somebody in your ancestry, in your family, an elder, an older sibling, somebody needs to be forgiven here. Somebody who you were in a long-term relationship with, somebody needs forgiveness, and you need to forgive yourself. And this is about understanding that whatever happened, it was just part of life, and everyone did the best they could, and let's just put it in the past and forgive, and just forgive, because that's the way to self-love and self-healing, right? And then we have the Two of Cups energy, which is a Venus in Cancer. And this really is looking for putting this perspective on home and safety and roots. You know, Venus in that space in Cancer, which is going to be happening, right? As I mentioned, is going to be happening on the 7th of August. And it's a very sensitive energy, and it's really turning to somebody, okay, in your life, which I really like. Now, for some of you, this could indicate meeting somebody new, you know, in the middle of all of this, where you're not meeting somebody brand new. I feel like you could be meeting somebody brand new here, but this is where you guys are saying, okay, you guys are going to give it a go, and you're going to, you know, give this relationship a shot, and you're going to commit to that. For others of you, you could be doing this having to do with friends, even family members, just being really there for each other. This could also indicate you know, having a business partner that you really trust, right? Really, really good. But at the same time, we do have the King of Swords. And I have to tell you, with the King of Swords, this really is about, there's a lot of confusion going on here, and you don't have any control over it. This is not something that you can control, but you can control yourself, and you have to tap into your intuition here to stay grounded and stay within reality and with the truth of the situation. Because with the King of Swords, there's a lot of activity, there's a lot of mayhem going on, and so it's very important that you really rely on yourself and your intuition right now, and what you feel is really the best way to handle this situation. So while I feel this was rather general, I feel like it was really specific, and please don't try to make this fit. I feel like those of you who are going to resonate with this are going to know. Guys, I'm sorry, I'll get you next time. I cannot control what cards come out. You know what I mean? I'm just the telephone in this jam. Okay. Yeah, we get forgiveness. Emotions are a natural and necessary part of life, but they can also distort your perception and cloud your vision. In order to see things clearly, you must let go of resentment. Yeah, I mean, that's the Judgment card. Forgiveness. Stop focusing your energy on past events, for life is too precious to waste. You create your reality by what you think, dream, and imagine. Give thanks for the blessings of love soon to come your way. Know that you deserve to be and have all that your heart truly desires. Okay, so there can be a release in relationship and new love coming in. Yeah. I mean, this is just such a, like, roulette wheel, having to do with career, having to do with relationship, having to do with family situation. But, you know, guys, I feel like this is one of those readings where it doesn't really matter. Just take the message and apply it however you would. Somebody needs forgiveness. There's going to be a lot going on. Really tap into your intuition. Something is definitely ending. Destiny is at play here. And I feel like you're not going to see this coming, to be honest, because I feel like right now you're just focused on, all right, what am I just going to put my work into to just make the most money and be as successful as I can, feel connected, you know? then, you know, the foundation here, I think it's feel like it starts here in the foundation with the Nine of Swords. Yeah. Okay, Capricorn, that is what I have. This is a strange reading for me. I'm sorry it wasn't better. I don't know. Maybe it was helpful for somebody. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you guys next week. You guys be well. Take care now. Bye-bye.